If you want to be my friend, you had better go get a pen. Maybe we can keep in touch like it did in the old days. Maybe we can keep in touch. It went so long ago.
The old days. We gotta get a faster version.
Come on,
of
let's go, Patrick. Come on, we got stuff.
Go! I got back on board. Wish you well. We're gonna find out. Sign your pen pals. Rory.
Sign your pen pal. Daniel, go ahead. Daniel, go ahead.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Do you know what edging is?
Yes.
You do?
No, I think I do, but I don't.
Do you want me to tell, or do you want to? Do you want to say Marine? Or do you want to say Marine Corps? Do you want to possibly say Marine Corps, or do you want me to tell you?
Is it where?
I love that show.
Is it where someone doesn't?
I like when we do this. This has happened. I don't know if people know. This is since day one. This sort of like where dance talk, like the conversation is a dance.
Yeah.
Friday watch crew moment. Okay.
Is it where someone is like about to orgasm and they're like held off constantly?
100% right.
They brought to the edge and then that's it.
Yes.
It's also why is that good?
The forbid, like you can't grab the fruit sort of feeling. It's you're so close and you can't.
Okay.
And then it's the release on the other side.
But is it good?
Is more gratifying?
Yeah.
How do we know that?
Well, I think the people who edged would go, "Whoa, that was way more intense than."
I gotta try it.
0 to 60.
I gotta try it. I gotta really sit down with my wife and outline some things.
For men,
we gotta start trying.
It can really help control.
I need that. I need that because I'll tell you what, you get me in the room, out of control.
In the room where it happens,
in the room where we do it, I'm out of control.
Why isn't there a Hamilton spoof just called "In the Room Where It Happens"? It's probably
spoof?
called what? Cummelton?
What?
I know it could be way better, but like the Hamilton porn spoof.
I never saw Hamilton.
No.
Yes.
Well, you're really edging.
Yes,
you're really edging yourself on
That's
that.
why. I was like, because then when
I
finally see it, I'm gonna be like, Alexander.
Well, also, people who listen to our Patreon will know that we edged a room. But who knows how we finished?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Who knows how we finished?
A room edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to H if you want the full escape room. My first.
Yeah.
Your
Wait, are you teasing a Patreon?
I mean, I don't want to give it all away here.
But when is it? When is what?
Well, it made me
Where will
think
this
of
all
it.
fall?
It made me think of it. But if we start talking about it here, we won't even get to a letter.
Do you think
this
is this coming Monday that you're talking about?
I don't know.
Is it a future Monday?
It's a past Monday.
Yeah, it's already happened. So that's even better, right?
Oh, I love when we don't know.
It's so
also,
fun.
it's
good. You love us all the time.
Even though I know it's like Lissa's job to know, I'm always still surprised that you'd even know.
Me too.
Like it seems like no one should really it's so chaotic.
Well, that's
how
why
does anyone really know?
When is what?
But I know it's your job to know.
When is what saved us? Subject to change saved us.
Yeah.
Jury's out on
hashtag jury's
GTS.
out.
GTS? Why have we never said that?
What's that?
Grow the show.
Grow the show.
GTS, dude.
GTS.
That's our
My
boy
daughter
band.
made these other ones.
Ooh.
She's got a competing business.
Has she commented on the Pen Pals one yet? Has she noticed?
Pal Strong? Yeah. Oh, she loves it.
Rory, at the live show, somebody in the Q&A, we didn't get to this question. They were like, are Rory's bracelets for the Taylor Swift Eras tour?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, of course. Homemade.
Yeah.
Our own.
Yeah, they are.
But you get them in the parking lot.
Did I tell the story of Elliot making a bracelet for the movie?
No.
I don't know when this movie will come out. I'm in a movie called You're Cordially Invited, written and directed by Nick Stoller, starring Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon.
Not just cordially invited?
You're cordially invited.
You are?
You are cordially invited.
But what? You're
cordially invited.
Do you ever wonder stuff that was a big debate?
No. I've never wondered
think
stuff
if it was
that's a
you
big
and
debate.
me who wrote the movie, we wouldn't have debated dropping the "your"? We wouldn't even have debated it.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm not saying I dislike it, but I feel like it was
I think most invitations
cordially invited.
I think most invitations say you're cordially invited, don't they?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that's why. I think that's why. So we probably would have left it in based on that.
I think we would have landed there.
Yeah, it's usually.
I think we would have landed there, but I bet. Well, I know me, so I definitely would have been like, "Do we drop the?" Okay, sorry.
During my fitting, I had this bracelet on, which my daughter made me, and I was asked, "Did your daughter make that bracelet?" I said yes, and they're like, would she make 6 identical ones that say Jenny for Will's character to wear in regards to his daughter? And so they paid Elliot to make 6 identical bracelets like this. Not like this, not like this, but like, a kid's. That's what I said. I go, well, because I'm in the industry, she gets to do it.
Yeah.
And so she made bracelets similar to, like a little kid would make for, their mom or dad or whoever in their family or even themselves. And Will wears it during the movie, and it's featured in the movie.
You know what?
It's like a part of the movie.
So
she has that in her life. Isn't that crazy?
This is so amazing.
Her first gig.
Her first gig.
Did she get like industry minimum for?
She got $500,000.
That's the rate.
That's the
just
rate.
The standard.
That's
day
why
rate?
all 3 of us have chosen poorly. Like, why did we not get into bracelet making?
Right. We are now.
Because honestly, you just make one bracelet and sell that. I mean, $500,000 is crazy. We're rich. We're fucking rich.
Can I posit an
idea? No, put the camera here.
Okay.
We're fucking rich.
No, leave it there. Can I posit an idea?
Yes. Deposit an idea.
I don't know that we'll ever do the jacket.
But like how you said that. Like I hit that T. But jacket.
The guy who got us Jerry
O'Carey.
Maybe Elliot makes him a bracelet.
Oh shit! Wait, can the guy who got us?
We don't even know.
No, he listens to the show. Whoever you are out there, and like I said,
and we will find
do
a way
research.
To verify.
Do not lie.
Jerry will verify.
Also, it's no fun to lie. But if you are the person,
Ponters.
Do we know if it's a guy?
Ponters?
No. That told Jerry. Okay.
Yeah, Jerry talked about what a slamming body.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you're the guy at the gym, we need to see. We need you to verify. We're gonna have Jerry check it, but also send us that gym membership picture to verify.
Oh, I want that too. And your social,
and also that's going to be our merch and your social and your favorite credit cards.
Our new merch is a T-shirt of his gym photo that says "Best Fan."
Yeah, best fan got us Jerry.
So we also will need a waiver for to license your likeness.
Yeah, we're gonna send you a 10-page document. Right. It'll be, trust me, it's
we
all
got
fine.
A guy, he'll handle it.
Should we get to some letters right after these messages?
Uh-huh.
We'll be right back, folks. Let's go to the letters! Folks, beep, 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 boop, 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 bop, ba, beep, beep, pop, pop, bippity, pop, snops.
I never let it go.
This one?
Yeah. No.
Nope. This one?
Wait.
Who's reading it?
No,
Me
this
or you?
isn't it.
This one?
There's so many letters.
This one or this one? Yeller. Me or you?
No, you got to shoot that letter. Okay.
Me?
This isn't it either.
This one?
Yes. I had
Me
it the
or
first time. Me.
This is good content.
That's a whole other open to a show.
All right, ready? Go for it.
Okay. Dear Daniel, Rory, Lissa.
Wrong.
Now, if that doesn't tell you someone deliberately thought about the order.
I don't mind being... the best part of a sandwich, and Lissa will tell you this, it's not the bread. And right there, I'm not the bread.
Lissa will tell you that.
I'm not the bread in this situation. You two are. And it's because you're not as fun as the meat, which is me.
You know what? If I were you, my argument would be it's not a sandwich without me in the otherwise, what are you just eating bread?
You know, I can't believe it. This, just glancing, this mentions my hometown, and I'm not first.
Now that should tell you.
Like, if someone said, Dear Rory and Daniel, I was recently in Rochelle, Illinois, wouldn't you be like, what?
Yeah. I got to support you on that.
Continue.
Okay.
I already void this episode.
Okay.
And that includes the next letter, which could be very well have my name first.
You want to look? It's not going to. and I guessed.
Fuck this show!
That's confidence.
Fuck this podcast!
Believe that you come first, unless you're edging. Daniel, Rory, Lissa. That's so natural how I found that, and I'll never get credit for it. I write you from a coffee shop outside Greenville, South Carolina.
My hometown.
I've been duped into running sound for a wedding. In my previous career, I was a touring musician, so friends assume correctly that I'm proficient at running a front of house system. My mistake? I failed to lock down the hours. Happy to lend a hand to a friend's family. Less happy to know I'm DJing, emceeing, and that the wedding party's after party starts at 11 p.m. I'm sure it will be fine, but alas, I write to you homesick, a less than 24-hour trip, and I miss home. Lame. The pen pal wrote that. But I'm very well versed in homesickness. Like I said, I toured for a living for 5 years. Van and trailer for 4 out of the 5 years with many of my best friends in the world. I hope that means he biked that 5th year. We graduated to a bus. Oh, damn. Just in time for me to get a tour or two in before transitioning careers to be a summer camp director.
Interesting.
Write that letter. After a summer 2022 Pen Pals episode where Rory spoke about his wedding just outside of Asheville, I did some digging. Rory, I live no more than 50 stone throws from where you got married.
How did he measure that?
Well, we could stone throws. My wife and I got married at the farm next to y'all's wedding field.
Interesting.
At its best, I love my job. I get to facilitate a challenging, adventurous, meaningful, and fun experience for campers and their college staff. My favorite part, helping campers, staff, and apparently myself, work with/through homesickness. Real non-dualism work. I bet you each have participated in the tough, wonderful, beautifully painful work of homesickness. I, and I bet all the other beautiful Pennies and Pallers, would love to hear about it. Rory, when you're here in Asheville in July, swing by Lake Eden. As you know, it's a sight to see, especially in the summer. Included is the test rock I used to calculate distance, a small river rock from one of the world's oldest valleys, the Swannona River Valley.
That I asked that.
Much love and gratitude. Patronie, wow. Daniel. That's I will admit.
That's why.
Well, yeah. That's just his reason for knowing why I'm first. That I will grant that.
That's his reason for thinking you're
P.S.
worthy of it.
Daniel, a buddy and I went to your most recent AVL. Would that be Asheville? Asheville show. I was like, Atlanta Valley Lake? AVL show in that CBD shop with no bathroom. Holy shit, brother. It was so good.
Bad.
Huh?
Go on. Just keep reading.
Holy shit, brother. It was so good.
Bad.
Oh, I see. I honestly don't know what to do with you right now.
I'm so proud of myself in like sort of a third grade kind of.
Someday we're going to get a chalkboard up here and your name just got written on it for that. And you can have one too.
Is that real?
Well, it will be. If future when is what? It's already happened.
Is that true?
Flat circle, bro.
Listen, she did a face callback that no one will ever see.
Not even the crew.
You didn't even see it.
Yeah. Okay. Daniel, hold on.
It was so good. I quite literally pooped my pants a little.
PPS, I cast my vote in the it's totally reasonable to fart around someone.
Around your spouse.
Camp. I cast my vote that it's totally reasonable to fart around your spouse camp.
Interesting.
A lot of closing out with a lot of poop stuff too.
Well,
do you want to see this rock?
Yes.
A little somebody found a way to repurpose the bag for the sunglasses they lost.
Yep.
This, I'm going to tell you on weight alone, excellent skipping rock.
Oh.
Look at that.
Smooth.
I bet I could get at least a $5 out of that.
50 throws, huh?
You can skip a rock?
Is it Gudges?
You can skip a rock?
90% of the population can skip a rock.
I would agree. That's why my next question is, you can skip a rock?
Let me finish.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fall on the 10%.
Is that true?
I can skip a rock, but I got to say,
what's your most?
It's not as fun anymore. I don't know.
Really?
I don't care about it.
I did it every day for like a week.
Do you want to know what happens to
recently?
me? I pick up the rock. I skip it. It goes out there to live its new life in the middle of the lake or wherever the fuck.
Brag.
And all I think about is, that poor rock was probably living with its family here.
What is this, everything all at once feeling you're
It's
having?
me trying to pitch to Pixar via the podcast.
Well, then you know what you got to do. Pick up the rest of that family and get them out there.
Go find him! But someone's on a kayak. Brother, dude!
Right. And then
go under! Family!
Somebody we find annoying would go, him?
Well,
Okay. All right. Sorry.
To me, the gender of that rock was,
Did you touch that
was
rock?
a him.
Yeah.
This is a great letter because I don't know how you are with homesick. Well, with homesickness,
I get it.
I get it a lot.
I get it a lot.
I get it a lot, even on very short trips, which is interesting because I there's a lot of times I'm home and I cannot wait to get back out on the road.
That's why we get to,
and I
love
it. But then I get back out on the road, and then I'm like, I want to go back home, and it's because I feel guilt that my wife is kind of having to lead the charge solo at home with a dog that has needs and a daughter that has needs and a home that has like
needs.
Its own structural needs for things we have to fix and get set up and stuff like that and clean and whatever. And then there's a part of me that shifts into gratitude that we do have to make money. Unfortunately, I have a job, as we both do, that does make money that is actually fun
we love doing
to
it.
do, and it is an expression of myself. And so there's a gratification in it, despite the fact that sometimes there's a really great paycheck, sometimes there's an okay paycheck, sometimes there's not a paycheck at all.
Right.
I have a lot of gratitude for the fact that I don't really have anything to complain about. I can't be like, oh, my 9 to 5. It's like, yes, we go to the airport. But like, even as much as I don't really like driving to LX or going to the airport or boarding a plane, I don't really mind flying. I watch a movie. I chill.
I look forward to it.
I have to say, I do, as my own personality, enjoy solitude. I really do enjoy it to an extent. But then I want to be with my pack, which is my wife and daughter and dog.
Well, that's
and
what I want to
be
ask
with
you.
them. So I do get homesick.
When you get homesick, are you missing LA? Are you missing your home, your bed, your family? Like, could they be in a different city and you would it's not?
I think we could be in a different city. I think,
it's
for
them.
instance, we've talked about moving and we're
them.
moving towards making that decision and making that change.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what comes with that will not be the homesickness of our old house. I think I do have nostalgia for memories and the fact that this house is where my daughter has lived most of her life and that a lot of our lives have happened in this house. But when I'm with their company, a lot of that diminishes. And I go,
so if they were with
here.
you, do you think you'd get homesick?
If they were on the road with me?
Yeah.
And the dog? I don't know. I think I'd miss... I think what I would get homesick of is my rhythm.
Yeah.
Even just being in Atlanta shooting that movie, my rhythm was gone. I wasn't now going... my food became way unhealthy. My everything became... interestingly difficult because here I am and I'm living out of an apartment that's rented or this hotel, and here's this rental car which I didn't necessarily love driving around. Granted, I had lucky to have a rental car.
Sure.
Loved being in Atlanta, but because my family wasn't there, because my schedule kept changing with the shoot, I never got into a rhythm of, I wake up, I go get breakfast, I do this. Like the only thing I had a rhythm of was the places I would go get a coffee and then meeting up with Leanne Morgan, who's also in the movie and will be on this show at some point, and us going like for breakfast or a walk or just hanging out or for dinner. But there wasn't like a rhythm I could rely on. And sometimes that rhythm is mundane at home and you're just like, here I am. And then we have dinner at this time. And then we read a book or play a game. And then she goes to bed. And then we all go to bed. And you just kind of go, is there anything different in my life? There is something great about that. And I think I get tired of that. And that's when I want to go on the road. And then I'm like, I miss my rhythm of this. And I want to come back.
No judgment, genuine. Was
Judge
the
me.
painting that you did in Atlanta help with any of that?
A lot of the painting helps all the time.
Really?
All the time. Because it gets me
did
out
it help
of
with some of the homesickness?
Of course.
I'm doing a thing I do when I'm at home, or just...
When it gives you an objective. For instance, and I thought about this, if this was my movie that I was either the lead of or I had written or somehow was maybe directing.
Probably would have gone a different way in your
think
casting.
I would have had a different experience in Atlanta. It would have been horrible. I would have had a different experience because I would have been doing one big 2-month-long painting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that distracts you because you're trying to get it right, as opposed to, hey, I'm in someone else's thing doing some things here and there in it.
Oh, I think if you had written or directed it when you got done, you would. I mean, you would have to shut it down for like a month.
Yeah,
just to think. I mean, it's just that constant work.
I was very impressed by Nick Stoller and how he operates, and all the success he's had. But it's interesting to see how someone works. And he keeps it pretty like you don't see an anxiety or stress about
but
it.
But he is making 1,000 decisions a day.
He could be, but you kind of can't see it.
The nature of the job.
You kind of can't see it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the painting definitely helped me stay focused. Going, I'm gonna try to make paintings, and I made a bunch that I really like. And then I was like, gonna do a show, but then the time was whittling down, and I go, I actually have to get rid of these. I got to sell them or figure out who to give them to or figure out how to ship them back home. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I got in a position where all of them but one is still in Atlanta, and I'm going to try to sell it when I perform there. It's going to be at my merch table.
That's cool.
It's like a high-priced painting. It's going to be $700,000, and it'll be at the merch table next to my $20 T-shirts. I think $20. Who knows what the T-shirts will be? Anyways, now I'm babbling on about things that aren't even related to homesickness. But what about you? How do you get?
I miss LA.
Yeah.
I miss LA. I also miss my home. I miss friendships of seeing people.
Home is in Rochelle, or your home where you live here in LA?
I miss my home here in LA. I miss it. I miss you keyed on something I wasn't even so much acknowledging. Miss routine.
Yeah.
Like my routine so much.
Yeah.
Which is weird because any given day can be different from the one before, but when we're here, it feels like a routine.
Yeah.
We don't have a routine that like people we grew up with have, where it's like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Every day.
I think I've commented
there
on
are
this
people
show
that know
before.
that they're like, I get up at this time and I'm always walking out of my house by 8:13, which gets me to the office exactly at 8:45.
Yeah.
And I am sitting at my desk at 9. We don't have that.
Can I say something? I can't tell you if I would actually prefer that. I know on paper, and even when you say it out loud,
there's some comfort. There's comfort to structure.
Exactly. And I wonder if what we do has such little structure that it actually creates a higher amount of anxiety. For instance, there's something exciting about this, but there's also something that's very stressful about this. But you and I do not know how much money we're going to make in August.
Right.
And the only thing that can maybe guarantee you to know the minimum amount you'll make is what you booked for August back in April.
Yeah.
Give or take a little bit as you go, but you know what I mean? And so we go into it going, I'm not worried, but I'm also worried. Does that make sense? Yeah. I know it does to you, but for anyone that doesn't make sense to, there's something exciting about going, I don't know how or what or where I'm going to make my money, but I have faith that I will, and that excites me. And also the level of commitment, going back to the paintings, level of work and work ethic and focus that I put into something can contribute to me making a certain amount of money.
I want to ask you an off-topic
in
question.
A minimal way. And by minimal, I mean covering your mortgage, your rent, your groceries, your bills, your miscellaneous of like, I want to go out and have a drink. I want to go have fun. I want to go to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a quick off-topic question, if we can do it, because I want to finish my side of this.
Yep.
But I wonder if we are just, as much as we could on some level, but I don't think for very long, relax into that structure of like, I got to be up at 8. I'll be at work by 9. I'll be home at 5. We'll do that. I know I'm off these days because I picked these for my vacation. That there's something about us that almost thrives in that chaos. And the thing I want to ask you, do you subscribe to the possibility that was part of the thing about Tiger, that all the shit he was doing in his life, kind of the constant chaos of it, made him a better golfer? There's people who think this. And then when he like dialed everything down and got his personal life very basic and under control, seemingly, I guess that doesn't account for injuries. But I don't think Tiger's a great example. Yeah. But I think I think that there may be an idea to the thought, maybe remove the Tiger example, that certain people, the more chaotic it is, the better they do with that constant juice of like, now I got a thing and I have to do this and this is over here and that's over there.
I mean, there's a little bit of that I think you have to enjoy a little bit of that if that is the structure of your life. And ours is like that, Like I said, there's something that's stressful about August, but then there's also something exciting about it. And then, randomly, Grant, I'm on a tour now, so I don't. So the good thing is, I can kind of know roughly, minus the overhead, what I might be bringing in each time I go on the road, and that's fine and good. And you go, great, I'm making money. I have a job. I'm doing that. So for me right now, there's less of that chaos.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, when I get an email from my agent or a random person that says, are you around December, blah, 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 to maybe do it? Like, there's that little jolt of adrenaline and a little shot of dopamine because you go, oh, all right, if I say yes to this, I know I've made at least that much in December. And it starts to, and when you don't get paid every 2 weeks with a set amount of money, there's excitement in knowing you at least will make a minimum amount of money.
And then you get to be homesick.
Yeah. And also there is a gratification in knowing of the how you make your money. And I think that's why I often hypothesize, and we can move on quickly, but I often hypothesize if I suddenly was doing a 9-to-5, what that would be that I would enjoy. To me, that is a great occupational question that, I think we maybe have some letters in our bin that relate to this in some way. But for me, I always like thinking, what is that job I would like having that is 9-to-5, that is your health insurance, it's this, you make this much a year, and that's just how it goes.
History teacher.
Yeah, would it be?
Probably
not for me, because I am not into that at all. But I do wonder, what is that where I could get up every single day and go do it? Not that I'm going to answer radio. I don't know what it is. I've thought about that. I've thought about radio. It could be really fun. It's a version of what we do now. It's it's certainly a version of this combined with what we do on stage.
Yeah.
It's the hybrid.
The way I deal with it really quickly, I think I miss food a lot when I get homesickness. I miss my home. I do eventually miss my bed. I get anxiety a lot when I'm away.
Of course you do.
I think that's tied into the missing the routine and like, am I up to date on things?
Also, you're having to spend money that you maybe don't always spend at home when you're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner, or coffee, or a drink, or whatever.
So I think for me to deal with that,
those Tom Collins aren't.
I'm not great at it.
What was your drink, Tom Collins?
What are you talking about?
What was your drink in Austin in that lobby?
Oh, a whiskey sour.
Whiskey sour. I was gonna say those aren't free. Those lobby drinks.
Doing a bullet rye. Sour.
Fresh egg.
Yeah. That egg white. But I think one of the ways I deal with it is like focus on the end and do something today that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Which is try to be like go for a run, and I'm not always that great at it.
Letter Daniel, quick question. Write us back. What coffee shop was it?
Yeah.
Very curious. My guess?
And camp stories.
Camp stories?
I want to know.
Write us back about why you transitioned to it.
When Cindy broke up with Deborah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And no one knew they were even dating.
Good stuff, Daniel.
I agree. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Daniel Van Kirk.
And Rory Van Scovel. And we're back! Ladies and gentlemen, today is the 9th of August in the year 2023.
Yep.
And that means your two favorite cackling idiots are now 43 years young. That's where we're at.
I don't know that I would remember as much without you saying it.
Your age?
I've spent most of this...
Is that what you meant?
Yeah. I've spent most of this year saying my age wrong. Older.
I do that a lot too.
Which I honestly...
And then it confused me, and I don't know why I do that with my daughter.
I'm about to say something you can never truly think the person means because you have to be the one saying it. Age has become so irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I've talked about it with the conversation I had with Kenny about windows of time where you choose your age.
Yeah.
I see it in family members and friends where I'm like, you're this old and really down here, and you're that old and you're really up here.
Yeah.
So, I'm not anti-birthday. Like, let's go out for a great dinner. Let's do something fun.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a weird, I just don't.
Yeah.
I never even think about it. I think, like, your director, Nick, did you ever think about how old he is? Ever?
No.
Right. What we do is like, are you great at this?
You know, the only time I feel old, and I do mean this in a little tinge of jealousy, when someone is younger and really accomplishing things that either I wanted to do when I was younger or want to be doing now. And that jealousy is, and I have it in like mostly people in our field, like comics, actors, people who are like 21 and somehow have 80 billion listeners on their podcast.
Yeah.
Not really so much in art because it just doesn't feel like the same thing. But like in a word, and I can always use Bo Burnham as a great example.
Sure.
Now, granted, he's just a genius, and there's no world of going, well, I want to be doing what he's doing. But there is a world where I go, why can't I finally? I'm 43 now. Why have I not buckled down yet to just fucking write a script and go fucking try to shoot it, try to find the money and shoot it? I know enough people. I could make something that as a teenager I set out to do. And now here I am. I've saddled myself into the position to do it, and I just don't go fucking do it. And when people do that at a younger age, that is the only time I really go, I'm 43. Outside of like the physical ailments of really feeling my age, that's when I really feel it. Because deep down, I do still feel very young.
Yeah.
But physically, I do feel 43. See, and then I also feel 43 and beyond.
I don't know what that means to you.
What, feeling it?
Yeah.
I think I...
No, but no, you don't... I'm not...
No, I want to answer it.
It's like, I don't feel that way at all. I feel better now than I did 15 years ago.
I think it's because maybe you're in good physical shape. You care about your health. I need to get back into that
You're
track.
in good shape.
You think that because
You're correct.
I think in a different...
You said that out loud.
You said it because you think it, and that's why I'm a doctor. I think.
Well, these numbers mean things.
I'm not healthy. I know that people go.
You're wild.
I think
You're what? You're living with a witch.
All
and she makes you feel unhealthy because she's wild.
She's wild. People's bodies are so different that mine. And I think it could be because I had such a highly active physical lifestyle.
I know.
For so long.
And you'd eat 9 Big Macs.
My body does not accurately portray to you my genuine lack of physical health.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, yes, it does show you that I clearly don't lift weights. If I'm naked head to toe right now, you go, that guy doesn't lift weights. But you might not know that I don't jog just because my body does still help me out in terms of just ballooning up. But I truly probably should be 250 pounds. But I'm not. And I don't know why.
But you're not.
And it's not because I'm healthy, though. It's because I just got fortunate.
You're the first person I've ever met, I
have
think,
this machine.
With, I'm going to say this wrong, like mental, because it all is, but like your body dysmorphia has nothing to do with the mirror. Most people, it's what they're looking at. You're weird.
I'm fortunate, but I know what I eat, and
She wants to say something to you.
Yes.
Yeah, because I understand what you're saying. For anybody else, the way you live your life is an incredibly healthy life, but
everyone we grew up with and who raised us, you are so healthy.
But what your standard is, what your body requires to be considered like healthy and in like peak physical condition,
American Gladiators,
you're not doing,
Yeah.
or you're not there anymore.
Yeah. But I don't think I'm even slightly
healthy.
doing it. I mean, a lot of fried foods, very little greens, a lot of booze.
Rory.
And then no jogging,
Rory.
no walking, no push-ups or sit-ups.
Do you want to go to the gym?
Do you see what I'm trying to say? When someone goes, you're healthy, I'm trying to go, I'm not. Because I think some people go, oh, well, I'm basing it all on a physical appearance. And I'm trying to say.
No, I don't think you are.
Well, no, what I'm trying.
You're talking about your health, how you feel.
But when you say, Rory, you're healthy, I think you're basing it on a physical appearance.
Because
I'm basing it on Rochelle, Illinois.
Right, but-
I'm basing it off of most of this country.
The fact that you're not 250 pounds makes you healthy is what people feel, but for you...
But what I'm trying to say is I think I am just lucky that I'm not 250. I don't think I'm doing any work to not be 250.
Yeah.
I'm saying I happen to be, my spiritual self happens to be encapsulated in a body that has good metabolism despite the fact I'm doing nothing to promote it.
If you were
but it has it.
If you were more disciplined...
I feel like I'm arguing with somebody who's rich that insists they're not wealthy.
I don't know how to explain it, and I
do get what you're
feel
saying.
like we're kind of both right.
Yes, we are. It's your feeling.
But I think
I'm not here to tell you your feelings are wrong.
How did we get into this? Oh, we're talking about our ages.
Age, yeah.
Anyways,
I haven't
here's some
the thing I was going to say.
announcements.
Let me say this really quick. I met Bert Cody. I met him. Do you remember Bert?
Yeah.
Bert needed help. His niece went on the internet. Can somebody go help fix Bert's TV?
Yes, I
And
know.
then
I saw your picture.
Bert
Yes, yeah.
I met him. He was older than us in the mid-'60s.
Yep.
1965. He was older than we are.
Yeah.
He would look at you being like, I just didn't do that when I was younger. He'd be like, are you fucking insane? He's crushing it at 102. So it's like, you are still that young.
But here's the thing, and here's what I mean to say.
Like, think about that.
Here was my point.
He has a third more of his life than what we have
Here
now.
was my point. You're saying the health thing
Goddamn
that
war
you're
hero.
saying, and like, this is what I mean to be getting at, is that you're looking at my physical person.
No,
and
but
you're going,
I'm listening, but I'm also listening.
And you're going, but
to
you're healthy, because if you weren't healthy,
Right.
you wouldn't be of. I guess I'm moderate.
You wouldn't be able to show up
I'm
and
not
do,
like thin and
do
I'm not
gassers.
big.
You wouldn't be able to show up and just do gassers.
Sure,
I'm not saying at the end you weren't
my
like, holy shit.
my lack of health leads to poor sleep,
Yeah, but
which leads to
gassers back.
unhealthiness, which leads to poor dietary decisions, which leads to no
Sometimes.
physicality. But I'm just trying to
How
say,
much soda are you drinking?
I don't drink soda.
Oh. That's healthy.
I'm not saying that's not healthy. I just mean as an overall, if I, at 43, my physical ailments,
Yeah.
I don't think should be there. I think they're
Okay, that's fair,
self-inflicted
that's fair,
because
that's
of my
fair.
lack of self-care. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I should be sleeping better.
You were
I
right.
shouldn't be having coffee
You were
every
right that
morning.
we're both right. And you are more right
Yeah.
because you're speaking about you.
Like if I looked like this, but you knew that I had
Which
to
you
step
do.
outside between every episode we record because I needed to smoke 2 cigarettes. Are you still going, Rory, you're healthy? Or are you going,
No.
dude, those cigarettes are not helping? Exactly.
But
so
you
my
don't
thing,
do that.
But my thing isn't cigarettes.
Right.
My thing is something else. It's
I
like
know.
fried food,
Yeah,
or it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
unhealthy
You're
food.
right.
And you go, oh, if I had to step out and go eat a fucking donut, which I gladly would do, you would go, Rory, I don't know that that's healthy. And I would
Meanwhile,
go,
Rory-
Daniel, look, you don't really see it hitting me, but it is hitting me. You just can't see it. It's like it's there. It's just it presents differently.
Yeah.
Does any of this make sense?
Yes, it does.
God, I feel like I'm making such a
It
good
does.
point, but then
It
at the same
does.
time I'm going, this makes no sense at all.
It does.
It makes perfect sense.
It does.
At least I got one person on my team.
Plugs.
Lisa.
Yeah, that's right.
She says yes.
Yep.
To it. Plugs. I'm thinking of getting them.
They don't do that anymore. I mean, they
August
do,
9th.
but that's not how you would
August
do it.
9th. I'm going to be out on the road again starting in
Yeah, you
later
got a
this
couple
month.
weeks. Yeah.
San Francisco, Seattle. There's random dates. Go to RoryScovel.com. I have dates that are also, I think, 2 shows that are going to be happening here in Los Angeles. So if you want to see something in LA, go to my website. Dates are there. If you want to come out on the road and see me do my tour, please do. I would love it so very much. Daniel.
You can go to danielvankirk.com. The last 2 Wednesdays of this month, due to the writer's strike and the work we aren't doing, I said, fuck it, I'll fill some of this time. And you can go to danielvankirk.com and do like a game night hang with me. I think we're watching a movie this month too, right?
Ooh.
A little watch along like we used to do
47
it.
meters down.
Labyrinth.
With Mandy.
Oh, 47 meters.
47 meters down with Mandy Moores.
Yeah.
And then everything else, I got dates coming up and stuff like that. You should be up to date on those if you want to be. Go to danielvankirk.com. Next month I'll be at High Plains. Oh, 11/11 in Chicago, the
Make a
Lincoln
wish.
Lodge.
Make a wish.
I hope your wish is that you wish to join me for my special taping and album recording at the Lincoln Lodge on 11/11. If that link's not up by now, then you just put it in your calendar. And wait, one other thing. Oh, I don't remember if we said this on the Patreon we did where we talked about the escape room.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give a congrats to Adam who won the contest from the Secrets Pod about who gets to join us for our escape room. So he listens to the secrets and he did the correct stuff to win joining us for that. So shout out to him.
Shout out.
Okay.
Shout out, dude. Let's go to this letter! Last one!
You're not reading it?
Of course I'm going to read it. Wait, do you not have one?
Probably.
You didn't go to your
I
letter.
don't even know. Well, you're right. I just thought you had it. Oh, no, I have it.
Ugh, dear Daniel and Rory, I hope this letter finds you well. I was born in
Hey,
Canada. Stephen Wright
come
doing
on.
it. Stephen Wright's the guest on the show.
Yeah,
I was born in
to be able to
Canada.
do. I think I can do a Stephen Wright. You're listening to Cane Belly Super Sounds of the 70s. Dear Daniel and Rory.
Dear Daniel and Rory, I hope this letter finds you well. Decent. We're decent. I think we're decent.
Yeah.
It has found us decent.
Yeah. We feel
I was
so
born
old.
in Canada, but spent my formative years living in California. I have since returned to Canada, where I will spend the rest of my life.
Wow, okay.
My septuagenarian father.
Do you know what it means?
No.
Me either. Older. Just like older than 65.
He's in his 70s.
I was about to say sept means
Sept.
7.
So I was right.
Octogenarian.
I was definitely
Mercedes.
right. Way older than 65.
Well, about at least 5 years older.
At least.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
And his wife own a cozy cabin on a lake just 90 minutes outside of Toronto.
Yes, we
I
do.
sometimes will say cabin when referring to the dwelling, and my dad will quickly correct me, reminding me that it is a cottage. My dad grew up in New York, where the preferred term is also cottage. I'm surprised to hear an Illinoisan, is that right? Illinoisan?
Yeah, I think so.
Illinoisan say cabin. I would have thought that the Northeastern parlance would have been preferred.
There's a lot of bragging in this letter.
You mean like just good
Yeah.
grammar?
Yes. And
I don't like it none.
$3 words.
A lot of $3 words in here. I can only suppose that it is the frontier spirit of the Midwest that has led to the common usage of cabin to refer to a rural vacation home. I'm guessing that it is the Anglican heritage of the northeastern U.S. and Canada that gives us the cottage preference. I imagine that the most commonly used term, cottage, cabin, ranch, or chalet, is regional, much like one's use of pop, soda, or cola to refer to a soft drink. Where do you suppose the boundaries lie for each term? Sincerely, Sean. Pop, soda, or cola.
Oh, so pop.
But I think we all say Coke, even when we mean any soda, right?
No.
No.
I say Coke.
That's the
course you
Southern
do.
thing.
Is that Southern?
Yeah.
You say Coke?
Me? No.
Well, I mean, I would say
Can
like
I
a
have a
Dr.
Coke?
Pepper. I definitely would never say pop.
You say what kind of Coke do you want?
I would say soda. I would never say pop or cola.
I say pop or soda.
Yeah, I think soda. I would never say pop or cola.
Pop
Well,
is...
cola is
Coca-Cola.
Cola is
No.
specifically
No,
Cola is Coca-Cola.
yeah. Well, cola is Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola.
Oh,
like,
what is cola?
cola is the dark drink that is Coke or Pepsi.
Cola stand.
Interesting.
So cola isn't
Dr.
a
Pepper
blanket.
Cola.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper's not cola. Sprite's not cola.
Why is Dr.
Dr.
Pepper
Pepper's
not cola?
not-
No,
It's a
brown.
dark drink.
no, it's its own thing. Cola is the drink. Is Coke and Pepsi and like RC.
RC. Why?
That's the name of the drink.
But okay. So it
Yeah.
doesn't mean something. It's not a brand. It's not
Well, now I
it's
don't
not an
know.
identifier.
No, cola means the
not an
something that's
identifier.
used in it or the process by which it's made, but I'm guessing more used in it that makes it cola.
Dr. Pepper would have cola.
I
right?
would think so as well. But listen,
I can
over
understand Sprite.
Cola is a carbonated soft drink flavored with vanilla, cinnamon, citrus oils, and other flavorings. It became popular worldwide, blah, 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 because a pharmacist invented Coca-Cola because it was originally to treat shit. And
That's why you get soda fountains in
Yes,
pharmacies.
100%.
Did you know this?
And your soda jerk. Yes. Also,
Wait, what's a soda jerk? The barista?
The person who works there. Yes. And then also, your soda was
Why
the
did it have
same.
to be a jerk?
I don't know, because you jerked the thing. Your soda.
Where is this? Did you take one of those pills from that Bradley Cooper movie?
Yeah, limited.
Limitless?
Just a little.
Limited. God, it feels like you have a limited amount of knowledge, but like high-end knowledge.
Also, this is when soda, a pop,
Why did this happen when Sean used all those three-letter words? You somehow became so smart.
should rise to the level of the writer.
Not me. Me and Lissa keep it low. We go down. We go down.
This is also when cola and soda, pop, was on the only found on the same menu as dessert.
Okay.
Because you were essentially drinking your
Sugar.
candy.
And you are.
Yes.
Still.
So one kid would go, "Can I get a sundae?" And the other kid would go, "Can I get a root beer?"
Yeah.
And that's dessert.
Yeah.
And then around the probably 50s, 60s is when the soda industry was like, let's start saying we quench thirst. And so now what we live in is people with every meal drinking dessert 3, 4, 5 times during their meal.
During their
in
meal,
the morning.
and like think about throughout the day.
Right.
Are you a soda? What's your soda?
If I do it,
Yeah, but you're doing it with like liquor. You're doing a mixed drink, is
and
when
that's
you apply
so
soda.
rare now.
Are you
as well.
soda?
If it's
You still
a cabin
soda?
Supreme,
Yeah.
What's your soda?
Diet.
I do Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, probably the most popular amongst 30 and up. Right?
Yeah, I would
when did
say
you switch to
so.
Diet Coke?
I always did Diet Coke.
Even as a kid?
Yeah, I never
I
drank
always
Coke.
have, forever in my life, have hated the flavor of Diet Coke.
Oh, see, and Diet Coke to me it's less syrupy. It's crisper
Interesting.
tasting.
but if you're having
I wonder if I'd like it now.
a windows down
Better not
summer
try
day, a windows down summer day, and you get a Coke from McDonald's,
Yeah, always.
come on.
I mean, that's why Mexican Coke became so like incredible. One, it's in that old school bottle,
Cane sugar.
but also the cane sugar. It was such a better. It was like the non-syrupy flavor because you were like, "This is what it used to be," which is true. When we were kids, you have a nostalgia for another country's current product
The only
because that's what we used to have.
I've gone down so much in terms of Jack and Cokes and Cabin Supremes
Yeah,
that the only one now is like a Rogue root beer.
yeah.
And I would say maybe
Root beer float.
once a month.
Would you do a float?
I'd do a float right now with you.
Let me ask you a question.
When was the last time you had a root beer?
I think it was within the year because I think I had a root beer float.
Nice.
But
what is
like
that? What is Elliot
A&W.
like?
Oh, dude.
We don't. She doesn't do any soda, but she has had like. We'll sometimes do like fun, like the Italian soda you can get at like Trader Joe's. Because sometimes I'll make
Like
a
the
cocktail at
orange
home,
one?
and she'll be like, "I want a fancy drink," and so we'll make her like that on,
That's fun,
on the
yeah.
rocks,
Yeah.
But we try to water it down a little bit. But we have really been adamant about like, you're not drinking Coke and all these things. I mean, truly, soda is one of the worst things you can put in your body
it's just
because of the
constant
sugar.
dessert.
Yes.
Truly, sugar in any form
I think
is really
And
not
even-
meant for our bodies.
guys just know that my dart is hitting the board when I say this, but I've read it multiple
but like
times.
within the circle,
Yeah.
but not the number you might be aiming
Right.
for. 20, go for 20.
that like 1890 or maybe 1912, right? Well, guys, I'm around.
Those are the same year to me.
The
Honestly, anything from
they're
1920
wildly
back,
different.
you could tell me that was Jesus.
Watch the Nick, bro.
You could tell me that was Jesus. I go, fine.
You know what it is because he's always right here
Yeah.
and here.
Left breast. Right.
The average American consumed like 6 pounds of sugar a year.
Good God.
Do you know what the average American
20.
consumes now?
Oh, I bet it's bad.
40
What's your
pounds.
guess?
40 pounds a year.
What's that?
I bet it's like 60.
116 pounds of sugar a year.
Ugh.
Your average person.
And even
And guys, I'm on the dartboard before you. Actually, right?
I bet you
I'll
are on the
actually you in a
dartboard.
sec.
I will go with that you are on the dartboard. Like if someone
No, I know I am. I know. I read it from a medical
any
study.
number that someone were to come back with, it's still bad.
It might even be up because I'm pretty
I
sure
was gonna say-
mine is from like 2015 or 2012.
If someone goes, 140, you go awful. If
Listen.
someone goes 100, awful.
more than 100 pounds of sugar,
Yeah.
it says per year.
Who's the chef? Jamie Oliver?
Yeah.
Did you ever see his TED Talk where he came out with the wheelbarrow with sugar, dumps it onto the stage, and I mean it is a wheelbarrow full of sugar, and he looks at the audience and he goes, "This is how much sugar your child takes in a year." And then there's this like gasp, and he goes, "In their school milk."
Right.
And then you go, "Oh my God, I thought it was bad just in a year." And then you go, "Oh, that's just the milk. That's just milk that has
Just for
that
fun,
much sugar."
just for fun. Any pen pal, you don't have to care. Like if you want to, you keep living your life. I just want you to be. I just don't want you to leave earlier than you should. This.
Oh, you think people are
current
walking out
existence. No, our plane, our life. No,
And
I don't want them to leave.
And they do a door, but then
I don't
hit
want them
stop.
to leave this known plane that we're on
Yeah.
earlier than they should. Just for fun, next time you're in the store, go see if you can buy bacon without sugar.
Yeah.
Bacon, just meat.
It's
Meat
in everything.
without sugar.
It's in everything, and it's in everything, just so we're clear, and this isn't a conspiracy. It's in everything. If you compare our country and what the FDA allows in our foods in this country, as opposed to what other countries, like for instance, someone goes, "I had an Oreo from Thailand, and it was awful." And it's like, That's because it doesn't have as much sugar in it that you're used to. And other countries won't allow those same products, same companies, but the products are different in these places. And it isn't a conspiracy theory. It is because the industry of health in this country is a business. It is not a platform to create health. And it isn't about helping people. And I'm not saying this is true of every doctor and nurse and anyone who under the sun who lives in that world or who works in that field. But the overall industry itself is not meant to make you healthy and better, because if it did and everyone was that industry that is $1 trillion would disappear.
Sure. Yeah.
It is in the business of cancer. Cancer, in many cases, it's not like there are untreatable cancers. There are tragedies around cancer. Cancer is also, certain types are a business. Ones that we probably can cure and be done with,
right?
We don't.
Do you know
because if you do, there's no money to be made from people in it.
Do you know what B.D. Wong taught me on an episode of Law and Order?
No.
That there is a drug that helps people get off meth, but because it was like open source given, you can't get it in the United States because no pharmaceutical companies can make money off of it.
Yes, exactly.
So it is so effective for helping people with withdrawals and getting off that in other countries you get it. They give it to you. But you can't get it here because America, and all of us, I mean it, have said, can't make money on that. We don't want it.
Many other countries' sole purpose is to strengthen their country as much as they can by helping all of their citizens as much as they can.
Ours is to mine them.
Education, health, occupation.
And
once you're out,
things we don't love about it here, but this is a bad thing.
Maze,
right,
if you will.
Yeah.
Their goal is to make sure, our country is stronger if our citizens are healthier and smarter. Our country does not see itself that way.
Our country is stronger if our citizens buy things.
If the citizens are smarter, healthier, and wiser, they won't be dumb consumers.
Right.
And if they're dumb consumers, then so many of the people who truly make a lot of the decisions, and we now know they are on the Supreme Court, they can make money. If we are all smart, then we don't. Then we can't be.
Which is so funny because one of them got there by things being paid for.
Exactly. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is just simply the fact of how things work. Which leads me to my next question. Cabin or cottage? I go cottage, folks. It's not called cabin cheese.
Well, I bet there is. I don't like that. It sounds like you're trying to start a car.
It sounds like I'm trying to start a car, but also just breathe.
Yeah.
Just not die.
You know what? You are unhealthy.
Why do you say that?
You have pre-emphysema.
Pre.
Yeah. Okay. Regionally, ranch is everything. Not everything. Most west of the Mississippi ranch. Your Texas up to Montana, California. We're going out to the ranch. I don't know anybody in Illinois that's like. I know a ranch house, but we were at the ranch.
Forget those. Cabbage and cottage. I want to stick only to those.
Well, that was the thing.
I know, but we're gonna go with what is so relevant to you and somewhat I.
This is not a cop out because I will answer, but damn it.
If this whole time you have been calling the cabin a cottage, let's say that's just what you called it your whole life, your whole family.
No.
Let's say your whole family called it that.
No.
I would also just refer to it as cottage because you would have told me it's called a cottage.
It's a personal choice. What do you guys call your spot?
Ultimately,
but
you're gonna go with what it is picked at. But make no mistake, both of those terms are very cozy, and I'd gladly go to either one. But you throw chalet in there. Oof, okay, let's go to chalet.
But if I stood with you in the driveway again,
and you never will.
All right, before we go in, just looking at it. Or maybe I let you look at it. We walk in, I don't say anything. You look around. I go, is this a cabin or a cottage? And I don't tell you what we call it. What would you say?
I would call it
what would you have called it?
I would call it an incredible bonfire fire pit because it needs to
burn to the ground.
Burned like the bullshit to the ground.
Because some people go, if there's no logs, if it's not log walls, it's not a cabin.
I don't know what distinguishes either. That's why I mean to say, if we stood there and you go, Rory, my whole family, my whole life has called this a cottage, and it is a cottage. I would go, great, let's go to the cottage. I don't see it that way. When you say cabin, I've been there. It's a cabin. I registered as a cabin. You would call it a cabin. But if you would have said cottage and then we got there, I wouldn't have gone, Daniel, this is a cabin. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
Because I would just been like, oh, yeah, that's just
what
it is.
But depending on where you're from, you might have gone, oh, you guys call it a cabin, huh?
To me, cottage is very, and I agree with the
Hansel and
regional.
Gretel.
It's very northeastern kind of like hoity-toity more feel, despite the fact that I don't think it has to be.
Some reason
I think there's also a Disney.
It's on a hill to me.
Cottage is like, hey, we're in a Disney movie and we don't have a lot of money. Hey, we live in New York and we are loaded. Like, why can both be cottage?
Yeah, is anybody on Martha's Vineyard being like, love this cottage?
Exactly. It's
no. But they aren't saying cabin either.
Yeah.
It's a place.
I don't know.
Our place in Martha's Vineyard.
It is. I really do think it's just what you decide to call it. Because we grew. So my friend Blake, we would go to Blake's cabin on Whidbey Island.
Mm-hmm.
It was a house on a lake.
So that's it's a lake house.
Lake house, which my friend Becca has a lake house.
Yes.
Okay. Shout out Becca.
Shout out Becca.
But
we would go to Blake's cabin.
House.
And it was always called. It was always called a cabin, and there's nothing about it that's a cabin, nothing at all.
Okay, here's what makes me so mad.
Nothing
is that
about it's a
Blake's
cabin.
entire life, he didn't call it Welcome to the Blake House. Instead, he stuck with cabin.
We're going up to the Blake House.
He also
Wait, but you're saying it is a cabin?
Well, it's a cabin because Blake's family called it a cabin.
Despite the fact that it is a Blake House.
So
yes,
Alex
exactly.
Alex had what I would call in Leavenworth a cabin. It was made of, it had like logs and it was all very woody. It was right on the river.
Yeah.
And we called it a cabin, but it was like, or did we call it a cabin? Because it was big. It was big.
If it's a regular house, like for instance, that is not a regular house. Your cabin.
Right.
It's not a regular house.
No.
If it's a regular house, then it's a lake house.
If you moved there,
or it's a house in the woods.
If you moved there, you'd be like, we got to fix this place up.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's not a regular house.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends has a place on Fox Lake. He does not call it a lake house, even though that would be the closest term I would give it. He doesn't call it a cabin, doesn't call it a cottage. Sometimes you'll see people like, they'll call something a shack, which to me is like, too much wind, we're losing this place, right?
Yeah.
He always says, going up to Fox Lake. I was at Fox Lake all weekend. So-and-so and my mom are going to Fox Lake because I don't think he's landed up because it is not a cabin.
Yeah.
It is not a cottage.
Yeah.
The only thing he could call it is a lake house because it's on the lake, but he just hasn't. So it doesn't get a...
It's nothing.
And then Jordan Dix invited us to her family's She said, do you want to come to our cabin in Suncadia? So we were like, sure, let's go to your cabin. And it was a mansion. Right. It was millions of dollars.
That's when I'm insulted.
I yelled at her about it. I said, you're not allowed to call it that anymore. Like, this is your second
But what
home.
do you think that was any sort of like wealth shame?
Vacation home.
That she had? She had wealth shame. So she was like, I don't want to
Let's downplay it until you see the fireplace in everyone's room.
Wait, was it on the lake?
No.
Here's the thing.
We have lake access.
I know there's wealth shame, but that is always so insane when you go, hey, this isn't a cabin. Like, why not be like, oh my God, it's dope. It's a huge house.
Right.
Like, why not just say what it is? Because when we get there, we're all going to say, what's going on? Right. Why not get out in front of that storm?
What tipped
us
off?
Hey, the house is majorly big. So if you're looking for cabin experience, this isn't that. There's a bowling alley downstairs.
She had a movie theater. What tipped us off was she goes, on our way there, she goes,
you have
okay.
a movie theater. It's more like dollar theater. These are out of theater movie theater.
You're right.
It was winter, and she goes, okay, we're going to turn the driveway on, and it'll be we're
going to turn the driveway on.
And it was heated, and it melted all the snow.
Normally you turn on a driveway.
That's true.
Can I just tell you something? Daniel barely has a driveway.
You're right.
It's improvised.
It is. It is. That's why I normally say we've got a little shack of a cabin. Because I don't want people getting their hopes up.
That's it. You can go cabin. You could also say shack. No,
we are not. But
here's the thing,
because it's
here's
what's
funny. If you say shack, someone thinks you're wealth shaming yourself.
Yes,
they go, this isn't a shack.
Well, I can't
say
cabin. That. But I don't want people to think big, gorgeous cabin either. So I go, we got a great little shack of a cabin.
Shack, cabin, cottage, lake house. Who's your friend?
Jordan.
Jordan's house.
Jordan's house, Blake house.
Blake house is right between Lake House and Jordan. Yeah. I think that's right.
Yeah.
Shack, cabin, cottage. Although there are some cabins that are cabins. What if it's a crazy big place that is built out of like lumber and it's like, oh,
then you have to say we have a gorgeous log cabin home.
When do you say lodge?
Log cabin
When
home.
do you say lodge?
Lodge to me would have to be Art Deco style. It has to be. I'm talking like an A-frame, but built into a
sure,
larger...
but that is what encroaches on a cabin because that lodge.
We're going up to the lodge.
But doesn't
lodge also is not near a body of water. A lodge to me would be deep in the woods,
more skiing.
That connotes like a public,
like a chalet.
More public to me though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
A what?
But
I wouldn't think of a lodge as being like a personal dwelling. Does it not?
I think it can be both.
To the lodge.
I think
we come up to my family.
I think it can be both.
We got a little lodge.
Okay.
You should come.
You're thinking VFW Lodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes you think that, and you're right. All right, let's get going here, Sean. I mean, what the fuck, Sean? What is this fucking? I get mad. Sean, why is Daniel's name first? Let's start there. Enjoy Canada. Let us know where, and tell your septuagenarian father that he's both right and wrong.
And to start listening to the show. Whatever it takes, grow the show, even if he hates us. Just I wonder
tell
what
him
our
to
oldest
listen to
letter writer has ever been.
Yeah, I would like to know that too. So if you think you're the oldest, submit to our contest. It's a $100 entry fee, and you will get one of these bracelets.
That's gonna probably make us at least $200.
That just made us $200, and hopefully a lot of my. If it's $100, what did I say? The entry fee was $1,000. Whatever it is, just send money. Just send us money, okay? Septuagenarian father, Sean. We wish you well. Sincerely, your pen pals, Rory Scovel
and Daniel Van Kirk. Do you know what edging is?
Edging? I have questions.
Okay, hold on.
Listen, get this going. Listen, where are we? Where are we?
So